Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. This week's news brought to you by just a random batch of news, honestly. No pithy line this week. So let's just start with an update from last week in regards to Edge of Tomorrow. It was being reported that a sequel film with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, along with director Doug Liman, were going to be back and filming the sequel later this year. But now it appears that Edge of Tomorrow 2 has no plans for production. Sounds like everyone involved is interested, along with Warner Bros. Wanting to make it, but someday. So not on the priority list for now. We'll see what happens in the future, but in case you got your hopes up last week, you might have to temper that for a while. And now speaking on director Doug Liman, he has a CIA spy thriller cooking with Miles Teller and Eddie Redmayne. They are in talks to play the two leads. Apparently the film is going to be based on a true story around the two spies transporting weapons in harsh territory. So, does sound pretty cool. Now, Liman is currently working on a Bitcoin film, so we'll see what he does next, whether it be the CIA thriller, maybe he pushes for Edge of Tomorrow 2, or even that diving movie that him and Tom Cruise wanted to do with Ana de Armas. Apparently, Cruise is still shopping that movie around, and he's right now trying to get Paramount to back the very big budget. But that is the update with those guys. Let's talk director Ari Aster now. So Ari is coming off of Eddington from last year. An interesting movie. We liked it for the most part. Vin Daly gave it a 64%, but the future was up in the air for Ari. Studio A24 put some money into him for Beau is Afraid, which was very divisive, and Eddington, but not making a whole lot of money back for A24 on those two films. But now it seems like they still like their man. Aster's next film, called Scapegoat, is being made with A24, and Scarlett Johansson is set to star, which probably made it easier for A24 to say yes. No details at all about the film. We don't really ever know quite what we're getting with Aster until the movie comes out anyway. Johansson is very busy lately, attached to a handful of projects, big and small, so it looks like she'll have to find some time to film Scapegoat, and we'll just have to wait to hear more from Ari Aster. The Hamlet duo will be back in action together. Yes, Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley will be starring in an upcoming film by director Ben Zeitlin. The director came to prominence with his 2012 movie, Beasts of the Southern Wild, which was nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture. His latest will be called Hold On to Your Angels. It takes place in the Louisiana Bayou, and the tagline is, "A hell-bound outlaw and ferocious shepherd of lost souls fall in catastrophic love as their crumbling bayou paradise drags them under." So no dates right now, but I thought it was pretty cool to have Mescal and Jessie Buckley working together again so soon. Other quick casting news I just wanted to mention, Amy Madigan, Steve Buscemi, and Ben Foster are going to be in Ryan Coogler's X-Files reboot. They will be joining along starring Daniel Deadwyler, and Coogler will be filming the pilot episode this month. So very excited for the X-Files reboot. It looks like Planet of the Apes will continue, but kind of. So director Matt Shakman, who recently directed Fantastic Four: First Steps, along with writer Josh Friedman, who also wrote on Fantastic Four, but he also wrote for Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, and he also did the last Planet of the Apes film called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. These two are working on a new Apes film. It will be set during the time the apes rule the planet, not the people, but at the same time, it won't be stemming off of the other timeline from our previous films. So Matt Reeves made Dawn and War of the Planet of the Apes, which finished off the trilogy from that original Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Then Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes came out 2 years ago, which took place in the same world as that trilogy, but many years later. And now we have this, just a brand new storyline for an Apes reboot that no one was asking for. So the story hasn't been confirmed, so I guess we'll see if the rumors change. But 20th Century is for sure making this and have these two helming the project. It just seems like a gamble. We already had a post-ape world takeover film that you could just build off of, but I guess who knows the internal plans? Maybe 20th Century wants to milk another trilogy where by the end of it, the humans are taking the planet back. But anyway, just wanted to note it, thought it was surprising. And lastly, I wanted to end with what writer David Koepp has been cooking. So a guy who never really seems to take a break, Warner Brothers has greenlit Koepp for writing a Westworld movie. Yes, no other announcements right now, but this could be a big one. HBO took a stab at Westworld for a premiere TV show. The first 2 seasons got some love, but kind of tapered off then. Koepp will be working off the original 1973 Westworld, and it might be pretty interesting, so especially if some of the rumors are true. Deadline has some sort of source saying that a major filmmaker is circling the project, and everyone has Spielberg on the mind. So Spielberg did say he's working on a Western for his next project. I think he was on stage with Sean Fennessy, actually of the Big Picture podcast, where he said, quote, "I have a Western in development, and it kicks ass. There will be horses, there will be guns, there will be no tropes, I can tell you that. There's going to be no stereotypes," end quote. So, I mean, Koepp can be great. Koepp can also be not so great. But when working alongside Steven Spielberg on a Westworld remake, that sounds kind of awesome. Just think 33 years ago, we had Koepp and Spielberg bring a dinosaur theme park to life with Jurassic Park. Why not tackle a Western gunslinging theme park of Westworld together again? Anyway, Warner did absolutely greenlight it, so we'll wait to hear more, but I have to say, already getting a little giddy for Westworld. But with that, let's jump on over to the box office for this past weekend. So the 5th highest grossing film was Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour live in 3D. That was directed by James Cameron, by the way. That pulled in $7.5 million. We then have a movie called The Sheep Detectives, starring Hugh Jackman. That made $15.9 million, and actually getting pretty good reviews. We might have to circle back to that one. In third, we have Michael having another good weekend with $36.5 million. Mortal Kombat 2, newly released. That pulled in $40 million, a little bit less than what they were hoping for. And then, once again, the number one film at the box office for this past weekend was The Devil Wears Prada 2, bringing in $43 million. That film now at a worldwide total of $432 million. Very good for that film. Coming up this Thursday, Vincent Daly will be watching, rating, and reviewing. So staying with Alfred Hitchcock month, we have Rear Window from 1954. And then get into the ring, folks, and get ready to fight. We have Mortal Kombat from 1995 by Paul W.S. Anderson. Then Mortal Kombat Annihilation in 97 by John R. Leonetti. And then, now in theaters, Mortal Kombat 2 by Simon Miquad. But that's it for your weekly movie news here. We'll leave you today with a quote from an actor, Steve Buscemi. "What was frustrating about Armageddon was the time I spent not doing anything. It was a big special effects film, and I wasn't crazy about pretending I was in outer space. It feels ridiculous." And all right, folks, the Daily Ratings weekly movie news podcast, that was it. See you on Thursday.